Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to the Mad Gardener. Yes, I'm sure you can all see and you're all gasping. There's his face. I know, brilliant, isn't it? All the hair on my face fell off. And also, another thing on top of that, we are now testing out some new equipment that we have as well. If you could hear me, then this technology is working. Because we're going somewhere special today. It's that time of the month again. I look like a fat 14-year-old kid. Oh, it's weird. Oh, it's weird. I got a new job, that's what it is, and the beard doesn't go. Trying out some new equipment because we are heading off down to the garden centre again. This time we're going to a different one. We're going to the mighty Wenvoe Garden Centre. Yes. Run by a company called Pugh's. Pugh! And there's one based down in Morganstown, a very good one. We like to go down on a regular basis down there. And there is this one in Wenvoe, which I've never been to before. My mother is taking me down there again. Our regular trip down to the garden centre for a little nosy, because Mum likes to do all this as well. I will at some point get to show you her garden. It's very impressive what she is growing as well. She's very, very green-fingered. I don't know what happened with me. It obviously doesn't run in the family. So anyway, today we're heading off down to the garden centre. Nice to be back, and Testing. 1, 2. Well, we'll see if these work properly when we get down to the garden centre. We're going to be taking a little spot of lunch down there as well, which is always a good thing. I haven't had lunch yet. I'm starving. On a wet and miserable day like it is, again, here in Wales. I'm going to go brush my hair, take this wig off as well, and I'll see you down in the garden centre with my mother. All right, let's go. Right, let's take this trip to Wenvoe Garden Centre. Now, Wenvoe is based in the southern part of the Cardiff area, a nice little part of Cardiff called Wenvoe, coincidentally, and this is part of the Pugh's Garden Village Corporation. Now, that does sound worse than it actually is, but they are pretty nice and they have some wonderful garden centres. There's Mum there in front of us, leading the way, and we are off and we're ready inside. Look at the size of this place. Lots of happy staff in there. Hello, Mum. That's right, she's taking us down to the restaurant. Now, this is what you see when you first walk into the garden centre. Lots of indoor and warm plants. Lots of different things. There's so much. This place is enormous already. Now, Mum seems to know where she's going. Into the back section here as well. Oh, there's more. Look at this. It goes on forever. Look at that. It's enormous. Well, we've made it to the restaurant. The wonderful Orange Tree. Now, this was an absolutely wonderful place. Very accommodating for everybody. Had a wonderful menu set. Let's take a look inside, shall we? This restaurant had a wonderful decor inside as well. Just look at all that. Makes you feel right in the garden. The menu was absolutely fantastic as well, because I have a few gluten problems as well, and most of the stuff on this menu was either gluten-free or plant-based as well, which was wonderful for my dietary needs. A lovely menu, and look at that. Even at the bottom, they had a gyros. Oh, the Greeks would be turning. But still, let's get some lunch. Right, so we just had a spot of lunch. It's very windy, as you can probably hear. And now we're going to head inside to check out what they've got in the garden centre. Let's go. One of the first areas that caught my eye when I was inside the garden centre was this. This is what they call a terrarium. It's basically a garden inside a bottle. Now, all these plants like to live in a nice hot climate, and there are particular and specific nutrients that they give at the bottom of these bottles so they don't dry out. But these are some of the plants that you can put inside, a lovely addition to any office or house. Now, the cacti section is always a particular favourite of mine as well. These wonderful indoor plants can live a long and healthy life as well, looked after properly. Look at them set in their nice terracotta pots. Some lovely succulents here. We were actually looking for a Venus flytrap, but I don't think the climate is warm enough for those plants to survive just yet. This was a lovely section of the garden centre. Something that also brought my attention was the air purifying plants. They say they've got a lot here as well that can help the indoor atmosphere. A few Swiss cheese plants as well, snuck in for good measure. Got a couple of those in my house. This was a particular part of the garden centre I was very excited about. Well, you'll hear this, the excitement from a grown-ass 40-year-old man. Here we go.
No way! It is! It is everything I thought it was. Oh, yes! Oh, look at that. Oh, I want a pond now.
I do not know what it is about water and water plants that just makes me turn to butter. I absolutely adore them, and there was a wonderful selection of everything you had for a water garden here. I would love to explain what a lot of these plants are, but I do not know. I'm not going to try and pretend as well. They're all labelled up there, but I just love the wonder of the water and the plants that live within them. Look at some of these ornaments we have there, and it all looks like lettuce to me, I'm going to be honest, with the nice flowers as well. They are supposed to look like that. There you are. Tell me that's not lettuce. Water lettuce.
Holy smokes!
Now these are Japanese koi carp. Absolutely beautiful fish. And the ones in these tanks are very mature. They're about 8 to maybe 10, maybe 12 pounds worth of fish. Very big. Look at the size of these bad boys. But we found the daddy of them all. This fish was over 20 to 25 pounds. I'm not talking money because that was well over £1,000 fish. Big boy. Some of the nurseries for the small fish. Very tranquil. Mum seems to be enjoying it. Now these are some of the baby carp. Let's see if they're force sensitive. Stay where you are. Brilliant. Look at the wonderful colours on some of these baby fish. Shabunkins. What a wonderful name. And we got some generic goldfish in there as well. The bulb and seed selection in this place was very impressive. As you can see, plenty of bulbs ready to put out for your plants this season. And here is the seed rack as well. It's like a gardener's blockbuster video. You will spend hours staring at this and you will completely forget what you are growing in your garden and walk away with turnips and sunflowers.
This was something I was very impressed to see, and also something I was very relieved to see. It is warm enough now for all these herbs to stay outside, and what a wonderful selection of herbs they had here at the garden centre. A lovely selection of fennel, mint, basil, chives, you name it, it was out on display and looking healthy. This is something we'll be concentrating in another video, making your own herb garden. Let's take a quick look at some of the more weird and wonderful plants that were out on display. Well, I must admit, this is flipping huge in here. Honestly, it's massive. There's so much of this place. It's very nice. Lunch was very good. Mum's happy. It's always a pleasure. We're just having a little search out in the back lot now as well. There's still, unfortunately, not a lot of bloomers and not a lot of other things, sort of vegetables. You've got your perennial plants, a lot of your trees and stuff. This is the section I'm walking into now because I'm looking at getting a plum tree. Yes, you might need a little bit of plumage in my life. But they do say to get more than one for cross-pollination, so we'll have a look at some of the trees they got in the front garden. Yes, I've got two gardens actually. Just don't talk about the first one, the front one even, because I've done nothing with it. Now's the time. The summer, I'm about discontent, not the winter. So let's have a look at some of the trees. Let's go. Now this was one of my favourite sections of the garden centre. It may look a little sparse to you at the minute, but this are where the acers live. These are some of my favourite trees. They are descendants from the great Japanese islands over there. The eastern way, we've got some wonderful coloured, I mean look at that, absolutely brilliant. Yellow stems with red flowers, and we've got green stems with pink flowers. Look at that, Phoenix Acer, absolutely beautiful. That's called the Baihu as well, or Bihu, sounds brilliant. And a fire glow, look at that, green with red. The colours on these are amazing. Right, so that's a plum tree, or two. Nothing much to see at the minute. They might be a bit big for the front garden. Maybe I'll get a cherry tree. Something they didn't have in the last garden centre we were in was a nice farm shop. They've got one here. Let's go and take a look. They had a wonderful array of cheeses from around Wales and surrounding areas as well. Lots of different flavours, fruit and vegetable infused.
A lovely little shop with a little bit of everything that you'd find in a farm store. Now, if you are vegan or vegetarian, I do apologise, but the butcher's section was something to be desired and is a big part of farming culture as well. A big selection of nice cured meats and lots of different spices to go with them as well. Look at the size of those sausages. But surely my favourite section was the candies and the chocolates. Look at those little cute sheep, crabs and all sorts in there for your taste buds. Easter is coming, get the chocolate in, I say. Finally, the missus section. Yes, darling, they have lots of wine from all around Wales and around the world. Lovely. So we're all finished in the garden centre. Did you have a good time, Mum?
Had a lovely time, really nice. We could spend all day here, couldn't we?
You
And spend a fortune.
Yeah, it's big enough to spend all bloody day here as well, I'll be honest. So, that's pretty much it done. We've got ourselves the bug shoot to try and protect those chilies when we get in, so we'll see what that does. But that's it from the garden centre. We're going to take our chicken and our burgers home. She couldn't finish her dinner. Nor could I as well. There's lots of it. So, I'll catch you next time on The Mad Gardener. See you later.